So another tip for how to take in fewer calories, this is one that we've actually discussed before on this page, and is mindful eating habits. Okay, so thinking a little bit more as you're eating, because if you're anything like me, you tend to sit down and rush through your food quickly because the kids want something, you've got to do something over here, and this needs sorting out, and blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, you've shoveled in loads and loads and loads and loads of food. There's quite a simple process that happens. When we actually eat food, there's a chemical process that goes on between our tummy and our brain that tells us when we're full, when we've had enough food. The problem is that does take a little while for the signals, the messages to go back and forth. So if you eat too quickly, if you're shoveling it in, then you kind of eaten a lot more than you actually need before the signals get between your brain and your tummy to tell you that you're full. If you eat more slowly, there's more time for those signals to go backwards and forwards, and your brain might actually then tell you, actually, you're full now, before you devoured the whole plate. Whereas if you shoveled it in really quickly, you might have devoured the whole plate, whereas you probably only needed half of it. So mindful eating, things like eating more slowly. So some things that some people do is they will count in their head that they're going to chew each mouthful of food 15 to 20 times. They might put down their fork in between each mouthful and take a sip of water. Talk to your family while you're eating. Anything that just makes you eat a little bit slower, take a bit more time, think more about the food you're eating. Also think about how you're feeling, whether you're feeling satisfied. And this is the key thing. We tend to overeat because I think it's quite a British thing to eat until your plate is cleared or until you feel absolutely stuffed and you start there going, oh, and that's a lot more food than you need. All right, so there's a big difference between being stuffed, being full, or just not needing any more food. And we're not really used to that, not needing any more food. So think about how you're feeling as you're eating. Are you still really, really hungry, or could you stop now and be okay? All right, not are you stuffed, not are you full, could you stop now and be okay? If you think yes, you could, but there's still food on your plate and you're worried about it, because we don't like to waste food, just stick it in a Tupperware, stick it in the fridge. You can have it later if you find that you're desperately hungry. You can have it for lunch tomorrow. Okay, but if you can get into this mindful eating habit and you're finding constantly that actually I've got food left on my plate, your portion sizes are too big. Okay, so kind of a double-edged thing there. So eat slower, more mindfully, think about what you're eating, think about the signals, listen to the signals that your body's giving you. Don't eat until you're stuffed, don't eat until your plate is clear, eat until you no longer feel hungry.